Toasters.
We in Global TV says certain kind of friend we no keep, and some informer friend we lovely. We in Global, bona fake friend and bona tape. We in Global, we not promote them, we not support them. Look at them on the cheek, come here represent for. We in Global TV, check it.
Good morning, and welcome. It's Monday morning on the Eastern time. It's Monday afternoon on the Greenwich Main Time. Welcome to the Global Television Group. I am dizzy. The whole place is spinning with me. If I'm looking at you now, I'm seeing about 10, 12 of you. But nevertheless, we will continue. Good morning and welcome. Thank you for joining us. I have a few stones to fling this morning. But I'm not going to stay long on the stone flinging, because in my dizziness, I also have an article in the Gleaner I want to read for you this morning. It's sent called Babsy. Sent called Lorraine Brown. With the bacteria-filled kitchen. Sent called Michelle Bradshaw, the one where every mother-in-law hates. But let me say good morning to everyone. Good morning and welcome. Thank you for joining us. Good morning to my community of parity and my family members. Good morning to Carl Babzito. We have question. We're going to knock the zinc fence and see if Babs will come out this morning. Good morning to all my membership holders and moderators, viewers and subscribers, commenters. Good morning and welcome. Good afternoon. Sharon Robinson, good morning. Sunshine, good morning. Debbie Jervis, good morning. Patricia Matthews, good morning. Natalia Freeman, good morning. Sharon Powell, good morning. Beat and Teach, Wagwan. Annie Smith, good morning. Good morning. Jason Kane, good morning. Good morning and welcome. Marcia Estee, good morning and welcome. Good morning, Norman Ferguson. Violet Watson, good morning. Rosemary Samuels, good morning and welcome. Annie Smith. Lennox Reed, good morning and welcome. Marcia Thomas. Good morning. Miranda Raddock. Abina Sarkodi, good morning and welcome. Good morning, good morning. JP, good morning. Diana Atkinson, good morning. Paula Shelley. Lilith Foster. Good morning, bros. Michelle Lewis Wilson, good morning. Faye Lyon, good morning. Monica Hawthorne, good morning. Good morning, Jacqueline Murray. Good morning, Carla Hayes. Good morning, Lenward Steele. Good morning and welcome. Thank you all for joining us. Right, I want to deal with this important issue first. Jamaicans. The Cayman Islands police are seeking your assistance to locate relative of this child on screen who was found wandering on Grange Lane, Portmore, St. Catherine yesterday evening. He gave his name as Martino Kelly Jordan Rockwood. However, he is unable to provide the police with a home address. Anyone with any information that can assist the police in reuniting this child with his family, you're asked to contact the Caymanas Park Police Station at 1-877-224-1909, as well as you can also call 119, or as well as contact your nearest police station. Somebody knows this young man. Gloria Morris, good morning and welcome. Somebody knows this young man, and if you do, Colleen Jones, make sure you reach out to the appropriate authorities and provide them with the information so this situation can be resolved as soon as possible, Elder Fletcher. Too often our children go missing and has just become a statistic and is forgotten about. Somebody somewhere in Jamaica knows this young man in one of our communities across the country, whether it be St. Catherine or anywhere else. Somebody knows this child and the relative of this child. So please do make sure you provide whatever information you know and have to the police. Althea Delaware Slogan, good morning and welcome. Thank you all for joining us. Right, where else do we go? Donna Marie Gao, JamaicanTV.com. My question is, when the Jamaica government and the Jamaica Labour Party is going to acknowledge this woman for the standout work and achievement that comes with her. Somebody which is seen by many of us to do more in her community than any politicians have ever done in their community throughout our lifetime. How hard it is for the Minister of Women and Gender Affairs, Elijah B., good morning and welcome. Kitty Baga Baga to Elijah B. Kitty Baga Baga to. And the whole of them lift up big yard, get a kitty and celebrate her. So we can't say Dana Baga Baga and we not go say Kitty Baga Baga and the whole of them acknowledge and celebrate Kitty. Is it what? Is it because of the law degree? Other than and Kitty who Baga Baga more? The issue is you can't judge the woman by that. Everal Warmington, who Baga Baga more than Everal Warmington? He is sitting in your parliament making laws. You can't, because this is what most people do all the while. Dana Baga Baga. The whole away as Jamaican, Baga Baga. Let's talk truth. We politician them Baga Baga. Godfrey Davis, good morning. P. Richards, good morning. This is why may I ask these people this question, because Dana is, everybody knows that Dana is a supporter of the Green Party. But these people has never stopped once to recognize her. Never stopped once to recognize the work that she has done in the country. Ronnie Herland, Ekron Sound System, good morning. She baga baga to many people, but she has done in her community and to many Jamaicans more in the last 5 years of her Good Deeds program, Brittany Lyon, than any of your elected politicians have done since we have been voting for them. So to judge the woman just on the baga baga galangin, it don't work. Look at her achievement, Sonia Ellis. Look at the woman's achievement. Look at how she has raised the living standard for a lot of the people in her community by just using her platform and her influence to do that. If the donors were judging her by her baga baga standard, as a lot of you put it, so much Jamaicans wouldn't have received help through her platform. So it's hypocritical, very hypocritical of the Jamaica Labour Party and minister behind zinc fence, minister with every young boy in a one order, haul through zinc fence. Babsy is a criminal, Elijah B. Babsy is a well-known criminal. Ubuntu, good morning. Babsy is known to get to where she has gotten to on her back, dragged through street, lane, and zinc fence by politicians and dons and gangs. But we don't celebrate her as Minister of what's it or other rounds? Minister of Women and Gender Affairs. You couldn't frighten me. Marcia Garnett. Anthony R. What going, bro? Mainstream media, the whole on look the other way. None of you acknowledge that woman achievement. But make a kitty and ultrasound and wedding dress and car and law degree. Kitty baga baga too. a politician them baga too. But they have not done what Dana Gow has done in her community and other surrounding. Because I'm doing a live broadcast at the moment. I'll call you back when I'm done, yeah? Okay, no problem. So to exclude the woman by using the bagarism to taint her, it is unfair when you look at the tantamount of achievement, the amount of assistance Jamaicans have received through her program, both house, university fee, food, lots of different help. But none of you mainstream media and politicians in the Jamaica Labour Party will not recognize this woman. Is it because of bad mind? Is it because of bad mind? And no, can never and will never, Pauline Francis, how are you? Say lion. Uno will never and can never achieve what Donna Marie Gow has achieved. Why? Because Uno can never be transparent. Uno don't understand good governance. Uno don't understand accountability. And that show up the whole Uno. Like the whole Uno in a hiding. The whole Uno lip seal. The whole Uno camera lens tape off. You cannot see this woman's success because in 5 years, particularly you politicians, she has showed you up. She has shown you politician up, gangster, criminal, thief in favor. Dana has shown up a lot of and show said just by what she collects from donors across the diaspora, spending it widely and openly in public, make everybody see, regardless of whatever you think of her. But you would never be able, the amount of money run through Dana's hand, and we see it spent in public, you will never see that from one of your politicians. Want to thief in Nigel? Want to Babsy whereby gun and car give young boys to go kill off themselves? You can't judge the woman from bagarism. Her work is greater than bagarism. Marlene Gordon, good morning and welcome. Me not tell you I go. Me not tell you I go too hard upon Lorraine Brown this morning. You know why? I guarantee you that the bacteria in Lorraine kitchen sink will deal with her more effectively than I or anybody else could deal with her. So me now go tarry upon Lorraine this morning. But for those of you who know say me and Michelle Bradshaw clash already, I mean I go draw out this man coming know she hot-tempered Michelle Bradshaw. Herbert Sutherland, good morning and welcome. Michelle Bradshaw, the open funeral parlor. For those who don't know Michelle Bradshaw, every mother-in-law hate Michelle Bradshaw. Something wrong with under Michelle Bradshaw. Every man sleep with Michelle Bradshaw. Them dead. The last man, an undertaker, have to come take him off of Michelle Bradshaw. What have your bachelor's degree and master's degree done for you, Michelle Bradshaw? You want to me blood pressure pill or to me mad pill? Me have any one away you want. Charmin Ranger, good morning. May have any hour you want, Michelle Bradshaw. Blood pressure or mad pill, cause your bone for mad and your bone for have high blood pressure. Why you don't go find something to kill this girl? Girl, where every man climb up on top of you end up in a morgue. That's why no mother-in-law no like your Michelle Bradshaw. Are them something that you figure mind? Go and use your degree. Go and use your well-earned degree. Donna Go got her honorary degree because of her good deeds and good work. Elga Fletcher, good morning. Make the bacteria them name out Lorraine, because bacteria certainly are going to damage Lorraine Brown. But Michelle Bradshaw need to get a life. Michelle Bradshaw need to find out where under her a killer. 3 man now you kill Michelle Bradshaw. The last one a Undertaker roll off for you. But every day you come out and you cuss and you throw down and you try to carry down this woman and you tell all sorts of lies. I've been asking enough on time. Andrea Freeman, good morning. Provide on evidence. The accusation of Donna Go. Provide the evidence. Una make accusation too long and cannot present no evidence. Una supposed to be able to present the evidence you have by now to a prosecutor, and to investigators. So investigators can go investigate, and if they need to, then prosecute. But every day una get up and una be bad mind like a lot of Jamaicans. Because if anybody else has succeed and uno has succeed, then it must be a tear down. Michelle Bradshaw go find something do. Go find out why every man sleep with you dead. And that you figure find out, Michelle Bradshaw, why every man you lay down with end up in a morgue. Find out what's wrong with you. And come on for the woman name and go find something do. A long time you're in dirty kitchen, Lorraine. Depend the everyday rant and the everyday, and you cannot prove it. You should be able to prove on a case by now. Verna Adams, good morning. Back road, now when they are back road for Michelle Bradshaw, they be at hope people are gonna get killed, you know. Make she stay where she there. Because you know, say back road, she can do open customer night time. You have parlor. Me not think Dr. Tufton have placed up a archers to keep so much man if Michelle Bradshaw end up a back road. Careful of what you wish for. Hey, go shut up. Beat and teach. Careful what you wish for, Debbie Jervis. Archers might just overrun. You're careful. Careful. Next thing you know, Dr. Tufton have sudden death pan tap a sudden death pan him hand for the postmortem. Don't make archers overrun, please. But find something to Michelle Bradshaw. Find something to. Marlene Parma, good morning and welcome. Dirty government. I feel if Dana go on your Facebook page and beg money to fix this bridge, is the fastest Jamaica government. Jamaica Municipal Corporation. That's why we can't tolerate success. That's why we can't highlight success. Because all when we have a budget for do it, and then I have to go there, go lobby social media and the diaspora. She has done a lot more than Uno in a short space of time. So maybe we need to lobby Dana to get that bridge in a Hanover fixed. These are the problems where Michelle Bradshaw with her bachelor's degree and her master's degree must champion and come off a than a success, because you're not going to stop that woman's success, Michelle Bradshaw. You're only, Pamela Akola, how are you, going to raise your blood pressure and end up bright light. Hey, no sir. Colin Jones, how are you? These are the things what one of you go on social media go champion and stop be a burden to success, because that's all Lorraine Brown and Michelle Bradshaw is, a burden, an unnecessary burden to success. It was on Lorraine Brown own live when her husband tell him, say, get up, go wash, go look after the dirty kitchen, and how much a day you have a dirty so. But anyway, let's move on from the junk for them. Veteran, go on. You're alive. I oversleep, you don't mind. You don't mind you. Huh? I oversleep in a bad you. Right. So that bridge, Jamaicans, why you can't go down there so? Go lay down and create havoc. You see British people over here, especially those who believe in them protests, them no walk left them glue, them don't walk left them chain, them don't walk left them padlock. You see, most of the time, these automatic deportation flights, this charter deportation flight that come to Jamaica. And normally white people block these flights, you know. I remember a particular flight in 2022. Meanwhile, the families, tantamount of families in London, sit down and fret. See, today the flight a move. It was the white people in this country get up early morning and make them way to the detention center. And what did they do? They chained and locked themselves to that gate, so no coach can drive out there today. We sit down and all we do is criticize each other. And a white people have to stand up for rights in a foreign a lot of the time. In a London, yeah, so when a black people issues, white people are the first we run go to go demonstrate. But all we do is sit down and tear down each other. I meant to have shown you this yesterday. I don't know if I believe it, but it looked like a true. This situation in Nigeria, it started from last year, September, but it's an ongoing development. I only came across it this week. I don't know why something like that's been going on for so long, and I only just came across it. But this is shocking to see how our black so-called democracies behave.
Now let's turn to Nigeria, where a tomato puree review has landed a woman in jail. I'm not making this up. A woman put up a Facebook post. She complained about a tomato mix. She said it was too sweet, and the Nigerian police decided to arrest her. She now faces multiple cases, up to 7 years in jail and a fine of 5 billion naira. That's about $3 million US. So $3 million and 7 years in jail, all for a bad review of tomato mix. How is this kind of puree persecution possible? Apparently, Nigeria's Cybercrime Prohibition Act brooks no quarter. Before we get to the legal details, let's look at how we got here. What happened? The alleged crime took place last September, on September 17th. That's when our reviewer put up her Facebook post. Her name is Chioma Okoli. She's 39 years old, a mother of 3, and presently expecting her 4th child. She's an entrepreneur, a small-scale importer of children's clothes. She lives in Nigeria's financial hub, Lagos. On September 16th, a day before she put up the post, she went and bought the tomato mix. Her usual brands were out of stock, so she decided to try a different one. Before using the puree, she decided to taste it, and clearly she was not a fan. So she took to Facebook to air her grievances. She claimed the puree was too sweet, that there was too much sugar in it. And she asked her Facebook followers for their opinion. Now, this set off a furious online debate, apparently with the puree maker's relative, or at least an ardent fan, someone calling themselves Blessing. Now, Blessing began the accursed chain of retribution. They told our reviewer not to bring her problems on social media and she should call customer service instead, or just choose a different tomato mix brand. Sounds like every other social media stranger looking to pick a fight. So our reviewer shot back. She told Blessing that the sauce was pure sugar and that it was killing people. Now, up to this point, what do you think? Normal, heated debate on social media, right? Nothing insidious. Well, 7 days later, our reviewer was arrested. Apparently, the Nigerian police think she was part of a criminal conspiracy. I'm serious. This is what she has been charged with: plotting to instigate people against the tomato mix maker. Not just that, she was charged with intentionally making false claims online, an offense under Nigeria's Cyber Crime Prohibition Act. She faces 7 years in prison in this conspiracy case and 3 years and a fine on the false information charge. But this is not even the worst part. Her arrest itself was horrifying. She says she was picked up from a church by officers in plain clothes. She was put in a holding cell without a place to sit and a leaky roof. She spent the night awake.
Dennis,
The
send
next
me
day
the
she was
video,
flown
please.
out
My
of the
number is on
city,
screen.
taken from Lagos to Nigeria's capital, Abuja. Have you ever heard of something like this? Someone being transferred to another city over a Facebook post about tomato puree. Nigeria's police force is quite proud of their approach, though. They say there is no sentiment in law. But seriously, does the Nigerian police really have no other crimes to solve? Have they eradicated every other injustice in the country? That they had the time to transport a source reviewer? After being taken to Abuja, the reviewer was released the next day. She posted bail and promised to make a public apology to the puree company. She says that promise was made under duress, so now she will not apologize. The police tried to arrest her again in January. Meanwhile, Nigerian courts have started hearing the case, and there's no guarantee that the courts will throw it out. This has led to public anger in Nigeria. Protests have been on for months. But the authorities are not budged, though. There are limits to the freedom of speech and expression, and in Nigeria, a bad tomato puree review breaches that limit. Now, we believe that cyber crimes and hate speech should be prosecuted anywhere in the world. But this does not sound like one of those incidents. It's a farce, a vegetable vendetta. And a company being too sensitive and vindictive. No one should be fined or jailed for a bad review. Hopefully, Nigeria's courts recognize this for what it is: a case of sour grapes, or should I say, rotten tomatoes.
This sounds like a novel, sounds like something fictional, but it actually seems like it's true, because if it's one thing I can say about Polki Sharma, when she is broadcasting, she is well researched. Is a woman I've been following for years, in a circle. Good morning, Rosie D. Good morning, Georgia Dennis, Denise Hilton, P. Richards, and everyone who just joined. Good morning and welcome. But it actually, Lilith Foster, it actually is true. It is a true story. And these are the things that we have to grapple with as people, where government use some simple things to silence. Because don't look at the tomato, look at the bigger picture. Simone Beckford, how are you? If you can't criticize a brand, you're not going to be able to criticize government. It is that bigger picture is the problem. And Jamaicans, we need to keep our eyes wide open and where all of this is going, because you never know when this government with its majority is going to enchant such legislation to stop, especially you at home, Yvonne Green, good morning, from criticizing governments and its agencies and them thieving friend them. This is the danger of this current regime who is legislatively unchecked. Freedom of speech was never a thing. It was all a con. Freedom of speech always is gurged by many limits from many different angles. It is a, what you call it, qualifying right. It's freedom of speech is not an absolute right. It's a qualifying right. Absolute right mean it is protected by law. You can say anything and nobody can sue you, nor can arrest you. But because it's a qualifying right, you have to, like how you said Juliet, when she used Hansard to strike Angela, question about the illicit sex. If you notice after that, Angela has to dance through some hoops just to get her question across. And these are the things that the limitations of free speech are done to a lot of way, and them use it in order to protect them from scrutiny as well. I'll possibly read his article tonight. I really can't be bothered now because I need to read the what you call it, an article in the Gleaner for you. But the People's National Party have now have their candidate for South Chilani. South Chilani, I wish part Phil Wimple did in control of in it. Me no know. Me hear say they may put the dumb dunce Gogo Gaga up there or somewhere in a Clarendon. But let's see who the JLP are going to put up in a South Chilani. Because remember the thief in Phil Wimple resigned. But we'll look into that further, and possibly at some point I might try to get Mr. Paul Patmore for an interview. But from my understanding, or from my sourcing rather, Paul Patmore in the South Chilani seat will be a sure take home for the People's National Party. So I do hope, from my sourcing and researching, he is and has always been doing a lot of work on the ground. Rose East, how are you? He has always been doing a lot on the ground. So we definitely will try to get Mr. Patmore at some time in the near or distant future for an interview. But to Mr. Golden, no, not you, Jezebel. To Mr. Golden and the People's National Party, there is another case that you need to join into. And I'm now going to share my screen. I'm now going to share my screen and try to read and don't quarrel this morning, because I feel As I tell you now, I feel dizzy. But good governance. You know, say if we not stop them people here with the dolly house galang in Jamaicans, this is serious. The business of the people of Jamaica has become dolly house and friends and do you all understand the seriousness of this regime and what it is doing to your country, your rights and your democracy? Because my God Almighty, if you don't understand, you couldn't sit down so making just a trample, make them just a trample over everything. Everything. And the whole country sits in silence, waiting for the country to be destroyed, waiting for the country. When I said good, because the bigger part of my audience is in the Jamaican North America region, so I have to relate to them in the good morning and relate to my British audience in the good afternoon, Norman. So don't be confused by that. When I use them alternatingly, I'm talking to both of my audience on two different timelines. So that's why that occurs. But nothing now go on right at Jamaica. This current JLP regime run our country how them want it to run. Them come and them rip up the normal conventions that was there and create things we just to keep them unchecked. Let me share my screen and start read. These efforts. Let me come over here and bring you in here. And then bring you up to the people. Let me widen this screen for you. Stifling transparency, it says. The comment I use, transparency, denial and pushback for stifle transparency in our country. The easy jerk world, manners and respect, bro. Right, I'm going to go over into my reading slot now, so I won't see what's going on in the comment. And Mr. Golden, your slow movement and slowness to react in these things are really worrying. All of these class action, or if there's no class action, you, the opposition, have standing to take these issues to the court. State agency dodges behind Data Protection Act in shielding entities engaged in multi-million-dollar contracts. A government agency is refusing to disclose the name of two entities. The name of two entities with which it has entered into contract costing taxpayers hundreds of millions of dollars, claiming that the Data Protection Act prevents it from doing so. Why then people can't tell lie upon the law? Because I don't understand, they don't understand it, One thing with the thieves and criminals who go to school to study law is that even if they have a thriving law practice, they are destined for the legislative chamber. because in a full legislative chamber, only thieving can go on. And generally, once you're in a legislative chamber, it doesn't matter where in the world you are. It opens you up to a lot of contract and a lot of money people and a lot of people who want to bribe you to get access to things. And thus, you see a lot of, but then again, most of we who got law school, if we go into practice, especially in the area of trust, in the area of criminal law, in the area of tax law, in the area of corporate law, are some high-flying criminal areas of law, you know. You wouldn't be able to understand how much people in the legal profession use their pen to protect criminals in high society. You'd be surprised. The situation raises a fresh fear of institutional curtailment on public access to information and has triggered outrage from Transparency Campaign, Jamaica Accountability Meter Portal, and Jamaicans for Justice. The issue relates to the Auditor General Department Special Audit Report, which revealed in March that the tax administration of Jamaica spent almost $400 million to lease 2 buildings that remain unoccupied up to August last year. Neither the Auditor General report nor the tax administration of Jamaica subsequent statement name the owners of the 2 properties. The Jamaica Labour Party Member of Parliament Norman Dunn has confirmed that one of his company leased St. Mary property to the TAJ. The Auditor General said there was no evidence that he interfered with the process. That, Ms. Monroe Ellis, I do not believe, because one of the arguments is that why they closed the deal so early is because other people were interested in that building. How would they know if not from Dunn? Or was that truth, or was it an argument crafted? If he said Dunn never have no dealings with it, a Dunn company will own the property. I don't know how these people are criminal, you hear? On the 2nd of April, the Sunday Gleaner submitted a question to the tax administration of Jamaica, asking for the name of the 2 entities whom it signed the agreement for the property. On the St. Mary, on the other, Greenvale, Manchester. 2 days later, it responded, Tax Administration of Jamaica advises that it is unable to provide the information requested as a result of prohibition to general disclosure pursuant to the provisions of the Data Protection Act. I wonder if people can do business with the government in private. Does it sound sensible that somebody doing business with a public body and is covered by data protection alone? In a following email to the public body, which falls under the Ministry of Finance and Public Service, of which Dr. standing behind the ring, take it off and put it in your pocket and flash your hand like a damn Channy, Dr. Clark. The Sunday Gleaner asks the tax administration to state the specific provision in the data protection law which it is relying on, which it was relying. Concerning the matter at hand, the authority is not in a position to comment any further at this time, it responded. So when they can't quote the law, they tell you so they can't communicate further. Boy, oh boy. Given the refusal, on the 6th of April, the Sunday Gleaner submitted a request for the same information under the Access to Information Act, a 22-year-old legislation that gives member of public a general right to access to official document held by public authorities. Copy of the lease agreement were also requested. A response is awaited. The Data Protection Act was passed in 2020, but took effect in December 2023. It aimed to secure the confidentiality of personal data which may be in possession of entities, including government authorities, and to provide for the rights of individuals in relation to their personal data in possession of those entities. The data protection law does, however, include provision that covers the disclosure of personal data that entities are obliged to release under the Access to Information Act or other legislation. The disclosure of names of entities awarded government contract is a standard practice and even a requirement in government, with such announcement made at post-cabinet press briefing and published by some state agency, including the Public Procurement Commission. That is partly the reason why lobby groups, Jamaica Accountable Meter Portal and Jamaicans for Justice, have expressed surprise at Tax Administration of Jamaica's decision. The denial of access without clearly stating the legal grounds should not go unchallenged, argued JAMP Exec Director Janet Calder. It must be nipped rather in the bud. When the Tax Administration of Jamaica blocked the path to access this information, it is blocking the media from scrutinizing the action, spending, and decision of public officials, which all of us have the right to scrutinize. Going this route not only breed scarcity, suspicion, distrust, and cynicism, but it is an attack on the functioning democracy as of a democracy, she says. Calder said, the situation need nothing less than the attention of the Minister of Finance behind the ring that oversees the tax administration of Jamaica and the Office of the Prime Minister that is entrusted with protecting the administration of the Access to Information Act. Jamaicans for Justice said, the issue has to be viewed from the constitutional rights Jamaicans have to seek and receive information from public entity. Tax administration may have engaged in misapplication of the data protection law. No, not misapplication, it's just blatant lie and dodging, because they couldn't exactly quote what they're relying on, other than the broad act. Tax administration have engaged in a misapplication of the data protection law, which is there to protect personal data and to ensure record seeking of personal information such as biometric data, argued the group executive director, Michael Jackson. I cannot see how it would apply to this particular context. Jackson added, what should be very clear here is that the Access to Information Act exists to provide access to public information such as these, and that has to be paramount. In December 2020, Parliament Ethics Committee granted an exemption to Member of Parliament Dunn concerning 3 companies in which he is a director. Noraldu Limited, if I say it pronounced, the one likely involved in the tax administration lease, MedPro Jamaica Limited. Here are some companies who need to help me research to find out what the end of people may end up paying me. And Supermed Hardware. Now we know what hardware do. But we want to know what MedPro Jamaica Limited do and Noraldu Limited. Maybe it's a property portfolio for Noraldu, I don't know. Anyway, move on. The Integrity Commission report it in 2020, 2021. Okay. These companies may from time to time entered into contract with the government of Jamaica and its affiliated agencies, said the report. An MP can be ousted from Parliament for not declaring their interest in government contract. Noraldu is listed as the owner of the property in Main Street in Anato Bay, which is bought from the National Commercial Bank. Hey, you thief in leeching? May I will come after you one day because a whole heap of thief and crime are going with people with poor people money, you know. And you and the politician them in a bed for wreck. Poor people money, thieving, leeching. The land title shows that the property was transferred to Noraldu in June 2021 for consideration of 70,000 million, an amount which also covered other property. A 60 million mortgage to NCD was also registered. Uno says a planting between them and leeching. For swindle, for use them companies and swindle on poor people money. Dunn declined to discuss the matter with the Sunday Gleaner beyond confirming that one of his company was the property owner cited in the AG report. long-standing review of the Access to Information Act necessary. Public access to contract awarded by government entities has taken a hit with the Integrity Commission in 2017. The law that established Jamaica Principal Anti-Corruption Agency and the Integrity Commission came into operation in 2020. In 2018, the IC predecessor, the Office of the Contractor General, from 2006 required public bodies to submit quarterly report of contracts above a certain value. Those reports would be compiled and published. The information include the name of procuring entities, winning contractors, and value of contract and the procurement methodology used. We don't know if labor come in, labor not follow nothing again. The practice continued in the early days of the IC, but by late 2020, it stopped publishing report, a move linked to Section 56 of the Integrity Commission Act that imposes secrecy on the handling of certain information. So therefore, they use Section 56 to gag the Integrity Commission. Every person having an official duty under this act or being employed or otherwise concerned in the administration of the act, hereinafter called a concerned person, shall regard and deal with as secret and confidential all information, statutory declaration, government contract, prescribed license, and all other matters relating to the matter before the commission. The section reads, this latest issue with the tax administration comes amid other public access question facing the government. There is a debate over the Speaker, Juliet Holness' refusal to disclose an opinion Parliament received from the Attorney General Chamber and how the report from the IC and Auditor General should be treated. Holness ruled last year that the Auditor General report will have to wait 2 months to allow the responsible cabinet minister to comment, while some of the IC should go to community before being tabled. Lawyers, civil society group, and opposition, People's National Party, have criticized the decision as delaying the public access to information, as well as stepping aside from her authority as a speaker. The Attorney General Chamber has also denied a gleaner access to information request for document citing lawyer-client privilege. We are therefore unable to grant access to official document as the privilege is not ours to waive, said Solicitor General Marlene Eldridge, or whatever she named, directing queries to the Speaker who requests the advice. Sorry. Asked Wednesday whether the government would engage Speaker Holness to release the document, Minister in charge of Information, Bagamot, said, he is a member of the executive and did not want to interfere in the operational of another arm of government. Reporting. Last November in Parliament, Morgan argued that Holness was under no obligation to share what he said was the opinion of the Attorney General to the government, which, with the opposition, you may do so because of your good nature, but you are under no such obligation. That is one of the other dunce part of Nestor Morgan. The opposition forms the government, also Boo Champ. This issue has also raised new concern about the long-standing review of the Access to Information Act to strengthen the legislation. No amount of strength. When you're dealing with corrupt people, we can look the other way and turn a blind eye. No amount of strengthening the legislation. We have legislation that can send these people to prison. It is enforceability and corruption that is preventing us from doing so. In October 2021, Morgan said the government was committed to fast-tracking the review of the act. He said then that the Information Ministry was awaiting comment from the Attorney General Chamber on the Cabinet submission with respect to this review. Morgan said the matter was still with the Attorney General Chamber when asked for an update last Wednesday. They've supported the response to us after they completed the process. Then we will have another joint select committee at which time the law will be updated. I cannot obviously tell you the timeline that the Attorney General Department will take to review the submission that they currently have. But from other side, the policy side, we have done what we are supposed to do, he told journalists. Pressed on whether there is an urgency to pursue the reform, he said the government is very interested in getting this executed as quickly as possible. I think that there was an update after 2021 based on the concern raised by the member of civil society and others. So it wasn't the same one. That was an update to that one, to that was there. I will assure you that this matter is at the top of the cabinet agenda, he said. My issue here, Mr. Golden, this is something that is needed to challenge robustly in the court. Jump on with all these other people, Mr. Golden. This is the only way you are going to be able, Jeanette McIntosh, good morning, to challenge and take on this government and its crooked agenda. And it's by way of challenging them in the court. You do not have the numbers in Parliament to really make the changes at the moment. So that I cannot beat you on. I know that you and your staff sorry, Debbie, if this article that I've just read, it's in the description area of all the lives. So you can just go into the description area and that link is there. But let me hold on, let me go to my phone and copy this link and put it in the link up here. But Jamaica Meetup Portal and Jamaicans for Justice seems to be really latched to this accountability issue that is plaguing our governance, and the malarkey with Juliet and Andrew, especially Juliet, turn with Parliament into because and she come there. She don't understand the heck how we are going. And she have to make sure she change everything so that she, yes, this one, so that she can understand it. If Juliet not understand it, then it now can work for the rest of it. It look like that a play out in a few with Parliament. If Juliet don't understand it, hold on there. If Juliet don't understand it, then we might just have to get rid of it because it a confuse her. And you can only hold on there, Debbie, me soon pin it. Me just put it in the chat. Yes, people, that's the article I was reading from earlier. But any article you see me read on the program, it's always in the description area of the live. Whatever you hear me discuss on the program, if you can always find most of the time some reference for that, some reading reference in the description area of the live. But this accountability issue, when you have some time, listen to Talking Man yesterday. Okay, yeah, we'll jump over, go check out Talking Man in a bit. Sometimes I don't even know how the glean and observe. I just take up my time just reading. Sometimes my item is in no control for me. But she understood everything. She changed. Yeah. She changed the rule to suit the situation at hand. Criminals. But trust me, Jamaicans at home, me not go stop plead to no. This is going to be something what we now go fed up on me with. Nothing is going to change until you stand up to this tyrannical government. Nothing is going to change unless you stand up to this tyranny. All of what they're doing is deliberate. They want to continue to keep you in fear. They want to continue to keep you in ignorance so they can continue to rule with brutality and thievery. We have to do something, people. We can't just roll over for everything. So we can't just get up and wait every day for other people come help we out of where we are got to. No. You see, if the slave them on the plantation never strike matches stick at every available opportunity, we all would still be on the plantation now. If all we did have the house slave, Raleigh Robert, good morning, how are you? Thank you, Robert. If all of the slave them did have the house slave mentality, master, the house abundant, we house abundant. Oh, those bloody field slaves are at it again. We like being field slaves. It is because of the field slave mentality why a lot of us can stand today. It was the field slave mentality that took us out of shackle slavery. Because the minute them get to start a fire upon the plantation, the minute them get to touch Master House, a rebellion is on the way. This is why we can stand today and call this democracy and free speech and freedom of movement, freedom of assembly, freedom to protest. You know how much people shed blood for us to stand on these fancy names that we call all the time: democracy, rule of law, freedom of speech, freedom of movement, freedom of assembly. Do you know how much people bled and died for that? Don't you want your children and grandchildren, when you're gone, to stand up and shoulders like Martin Luther King, Sojourner Truth, Peter Tosh, Bob Marley, Miss Lou, Marcus Garvey, Kwame Nkrumah, Patrice Lumumba, Nelson Mandela, and a whole host of others I could sit down and name all day. Don't you want your children to be able to stand on broad shoulders when they are addressing, scrutinizing, or questioning this world? If not so, we're duply going back onto the plantation. It might not be in shackles, foot and hand, but the shackle of a gun pointing at you, the shackle of your bank account, Shauna Simmet, being switched off in a digitalized world because you're disobedient to government. Can you stand that? Will you be able to tolerate that? Do you know that we have time as people power to reverse this bullshit? But if we just sit down so and roll over, so Malcolm X and all these other people, I feel them shoulder, we stand up pan today. When we grace with the power of speech, we're standing on a lot of people's shoulder. Because had they not fought the fight, bled and died? Elaine Turner, how are you? You know how it would have go already. We would have still upon the plantation. So this current generation is charged to take a stand. It is the duty of this generation to enhance the civil rights movements of 1960 and after 1960s and beyond. This, our generation, has gone to quiet, especially in the face of dictatorial and tyrannical government. This is where Global TV ends this morning at a glance broadcast. Join us back this afternoon when we will continue questioning governments and authorities. Good morning, and thank you for joining us from the Global Television Group. We will see you later. Hey, turn up there. Don't move yet. Roll back. Can't move yet. We have questions to ask. How we nearly going? And don't remember this. Call back everybody. Beverly Forbes, how are you? April the 18th, 6 p.m. Jamaica Diaspora Conference launched in Miami at the 2300 Civic Center place, Miami, Florida. So But Terry Long, you may not get the news yet. So you can't use the people them sinting. So just in case you may never hear Terry Long, you're going in over Eventbrite where I promote. Take down the people them name and found no sinting. And a phone. You never register it. The people them register them Jamaican diaspora. And you need to stop use the people them brand and logo and name and go find something for yourself. Maybe Jamaican Diaspora Investment Networking Conference. Maybe you couldn't use that. It would have more suit the event where we sit on a launch where they in a town. But thank you very much. I just made it call on a back for. Tell them to stop use the people them name. The people them register them organization. Stop use the people them name along the Terry Long. Walk on social media and take down all of the people them sinting. The name don't belong to you. The logo don't belong to you. It's registered. Thank you all very much for being here with us this morning. We will see you back this afternoon.